Tizo shall gain favor. Volfred shall gain favor. I would rather Tizo gain the favor. You make landing upon Mount Elodial, where Volfred pulls you aside while the others complete the post-flight inspection. He puffs at his pipe before speaking up. Reader, as you know, I now wear the raiments again. This means that I myself may soon be worthy to regain my freedom in the eyes of the 8 scribes. Know, however, that it is not my wish to go just yet. It is true I could be of some benefit to our plan back in the Commonwealth, but I feel my place is here for the time being. Perhaps once the Nightwings are on a surer footing in their path, my time shall come. Those are my feelings on the matter, and I wanted you to know. I shall, of course, defer to you. Our path is not to contradict the reader's will. Anyway, I trust that all of us, yourself included, shall find our freedom, if not soon, then by when all of this is over. Alright, can we talk to anyone? No, so we seek the Harp Scribe's favor. Having completed the post-fight inspection, you and Tizo visit the monument of Triestria Tithys here in the Emperor's Ascent. Please tell great-grandfather I said hello, old friend. I hope you are right. I hope you are all right among the stars. You must know why the stars are fading out, because none of us do, and some of us, I think, are beginning to feel afraid. Please grant us courage to press on. Soon, he is finished paying his respects. Is that recording? Or is that working? Yes, okay. I was worried because I couldn't see something. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Triestria Tithys has shown you favor. You shall soon ascend the mountain, though there is now time to pursue your vocations. I'd like to mentor a companion. There's not many left, is there? I guess Volfred, just because he's furthest behind, right? Like, everyone else is pretty up there. Certainly, I would appreciate your point of view. You illustrate to Volfred some of the intricacies of the rites, focusing on how all three in the triumvirate can move and act as one of mind. You sense he grasps some of the concepts. The rites demand we act as one of mind, in perfect unison and harmony, and free of any doubt. I have grown more accustomed to being a part of the Nightwings of today. Which one was it? It was... yeah, this one. Just so. I must say, my boy, your understanding of the rites is more than I expected. Wow. Continue the journey. There's no one to talk to anymore, man. Let's see. You sense Sir Gilman shall gain favor. Bamitha. Gilman is, like, almost certainly going to be in, if not up for freedom, so, you know. En route to the mountaintop, you pass by a monument to Under King Orez, and Sir Gilman happens to take notice. It seems that this knight's test of honor is just beginning to begin. He is to understand the stars themselves are vanishing. Impossible, he says, for how can there be such a thing as honor in this world if the stars themselves are wont to leave this world behind? Soon he is finished paying his respects. As you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Under King Orez has shown him favor. Cool. Who the fuck are we gonna free, dude? You and your fellow exiles gather at the foot of Scribe's Gate before an archway carved of stone where stands the Gate Guardian. Greetings to you, Celeste. I see the exiles of the Nightwings have returned, even as the cycles of the rites begin drawing to a close. The Nightwings accept this as the will of the scribes. Gate Guardian laughs at this, softly, for some reason. And you, Tariq, do you accept their will as well? But the lone minstrel does not answer her. It is no matter. Now, Nightwings, each of you come forth and state what it is you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. One by one, the Nightwings declare themselves. You all pass through as before. When Volfred takes his turn, Celeste stops him. You, I see you wear the raiments once again. Explain. The cycle of the rites is ending. While I do not know exactly why, I have my fears. One of my contemporaries, he who fell from the summit long ago, he lives and seeks his liberty again. He stands against us now and believes his triumvirate to be the true Nightwings. I remember well the contemporary whom you mean, then the Nightwings stand divided. Yes, and so I wear the raiments once again, in case that it may help to right this wrong. For I am Volfred Sandalwood, and I seek liberty for each of us, so that one day we all might stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side and bring our freedom to the people there. She considers Volfred's words for a moment. I see. Then move along. The Guardian of Scribes' Gates regards you all, and then she beckons you onward. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Celeste. What is it, Tariq? The will of the scribes. Long have we both followed it, I think you would agree. In equal measure has it drawn us as close as separated as... In equal measure, it has drawn us close as separated us. But if their aim now is to keep us apart for another age or longer, then... No, I do not accept their will. You blaspheme, Tariq, and at the gate no less. But the lone minstrel simply puts his hat back on. Then may the scribes themselves admonish me. Until tomorrow night, Celeste. He wants to fuck. Having reached the peak of Mount Elodial, you see the vastness of the downside all around you. It leaves you in deep thought regarding which of your companions ought to go free this night, as Hedwyn did last time. This is, like, the hardest one, dude, because, like, I felt very strongly that, like, Ruki, Jody, and Hedwyn deserved to be free the most, and now, like, I don't know who out of everybody that's left, dude. Hey, Volfred. Seems like he's the only one we talk to anymore. Volfred looks up at you as you approach and smiles. I never thought that I would say such things, my boy, but it is good to wear the raiments and the rights once more. The march of time does have a way of healing certain hurts. Besides, the Nightwings of today, we are a very different beast than the triumvirate which took me in almost a decade ago. Ours was a triumvirate of exactly 3, well, 4 with Tizo, who proved to be an exception, though historically the Nightwings never took on more exiles than needed. I have mentioned my predecessor, Brighton, and my 4 companions, Arisa and Orlek. Perhaps naively, I had hoped my time with them would not be relevant directly to what we now attempt. But, seeing as our stories are now intertwined, do let me know if there's more you wish to learn of them. Yeah, dude, tell me about all of them. You inquire about Brighton, who you understand was liberated prior to when Volfred first joined the Nightwings. I never met Brighton in person, but I know him rather well by now, though for that matter, my boy, so do you. He studies your reaction for a moment then. Brighton was born wealthy, but not special otherwise. You would have no reason to have heard of him. He was exiled for negligent misconduct. I do not know exactly why, and do not care for spreading rumors. I first heard of him through Arisa and Orlek, who found me in a suitable replacement following his liberation. They spoke little of him. Orlek gave the impression they did not see eye to eye, but he assured me I would soon hear from him myself. Indeed, as I became accustomed to the book, which you know well by now, I soon began to hear the voice. Volfred looks at you as if to see if you yet take his meaning. You see, my boy, after Brighton's liberation, he assumed a new identity within the Commonwealth, and a new responsibility to the triumvirate which liberated him. That voice you hear from time to time, whensoever the stars align, it's his. He is no longer Brighton, he is now none other than the Archjustice Androlibes the Ninth himself. Well, that's a name we heard 1,000 years ago. Liberated exiles retain certain burdens to their old triumvirates. They have much to thank them for, not just their freedom, but their exalted status in the Commonwealth. The theocratic rulers of the Commonwealth, they do not wear masks and raiments simply for the sake of ceremony. They are not who they appear to be. Their public pasts are nothing but a fabrication. Like Brighton, they once were exiles too. Brighton, that voice, he has no love for either one of us by now. He knows full well what we attempt to do. yet he is bound by the tradition of the rites. That explains why the voice was so pissed about Volfrid, right? It makes sense now. He shall always stand on ceremony and complain, but I think he knows deep down that he is powerless. How ironic that one of such high status in the Commonwealth should be so frightened of some long-forgotten exile such as we. Anyway, that's Brighton for you. He must have seen in you the potential to be one of his staunch supporters for a time. If that's the path you'd wanted to pursue, I should apologize. Now then, whom else shall we talk about? Tell me about Orisa. You ask about Orisa, who you understand betrayed Orlek at the moment of liberation, but then perished in the Shimmer Pool. I'm afraid you know the brunt of it, my boy, but I suppose you ought to know something of Orisa's past, lest you be quick to judge her solely by her actions. Mind you, I would never make excuses for the terrible choice she ultimately made, but her life, I understand, was very difficult. Orisa had been exiled for the foulest of acts. You could see it plainly branded on her face. Such was the heinousness of what she did in the eyes of the Commonwealth. She was an apprentice blacksmith in her youth, taking up the post left by her brother. He had fallen in battle on the Blood Border, despite wielding their father's own lance and armor. Her father never quite recovered after this, and had grown cruel and detached. It was Orisa who took the brunt of his fury. He expected the impossible of her. One day it was all too much for her, so when next he lashed out at her, she struck back. She struck back again, and again, and again. When they came for her, her father was gone, and she was not herself. She was promptly cast into the downside for her crime, where her hatred for the Commonwealth only grew. Orisa was also always was intense in her demeanor, haunted by her father's memory. More than that, her chief motive for wanting back her freedom was, in hindsight, not a healthy one. She longed to join our nation's enemies, to build for the Highway Remnants, a great siege engine that could shatter the defenses of the Commonwealth and forever end our feud. What she ultimately did to Orlek, it was an act of pure and thoughtless desperation. I do not think it was simply evil, nor do I think that it was personal. I often wondered, though, if, in her final moments in the Shimmer Pool, she understood what she had done and the depths to which she had fallen. For years, I must admit I hated her, but now, my only hope is that she found a peace unattainable during her relatively short life in the downside of the Commonwealth. Furthermore, I hope the life of Orisa offers some perspective yet to those of us who have not made the same mistakes. Now then, was there something else? Tell me about Orlek. You ask what Orlek was like when he and Volfrid first became acquainted. Volfrid remained silent for some time. I was very, very sick, you know, when I first landed in the downside. The long trip down the river must have been a little much for me. It was Orlek who found me. He could not have known of my capacity to read before he revived me. He was a physician, intolerant of the sight of suffering of any kind, not just any physician, mind you. A gifted, highly decorated one. He served on the front. Back then, skirmishes erupted frequently, and those such as Orlek, they had to deal with many casualties on either side. In time, he said he grew repulsed by what he saw. This sowed in his heart a yearning for an end to all the bloodshed, so he tried to use his status to negotiate a treaty with the Highway Remnants. It must have gone about as how you'd expect. He was given direct orders to return to the front, but when he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him to the downside. Here he gained the notice of the Nightwings, and before long he grew to be one of the finest rites conductors anyone had ever seen. He was instrumental in the liberation of his companions, whose roles in the triumvirate were later filled by Orisa and me. In time, Orlek's own opportunity for freedom had come up. He longed for it, so that with his exalted status, he might stand a better chance of negotiating peace. However, on the evening of his liberation, well, you know the story from that point. Volfrid breathes a heavy sigh. He and I were kindred spirits for a while. I could not bear to think that he was gone, and now, I still cannot entirely believe that he is back. He is our adversary now, transformed, grown cold. Still, part of me is happy that he lives. Make no mistake, of course, I shall not be swayed against our plan, not by Orlek or anyone. As I have said before, we share a higher calling now. As for Orlek, he wants his freedom still, although I wonder if he still remembers why. Anyway, was there something else, my boy? That's all, man. You bid Volfred a good afternoon and leave him with his memories. My pleasure, reader. Reflecting on the past from time to time helps demonstrate how far we've come, yet how further we have yet to go. How sad. Alright. What you got in store, man?
Oh, hey guys, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on up there with all them stars, all acting real weird and stuff, but let me tell you something here. You ain't gonna find a better deal on all this stuff from anybody. I mean, anybody in the downside. You can trust me when I tell you that, okay? So go ahead, stock up.
Permanently grants +1 hope. I mean, permanent is a lot better than temporary.
Wish you guys would have bought some.
Maybe. We're pretty tapped out at this point, dude, honestly. Commence the rite. Once more you have gained the fall of Selium, where one among you may go free, but first you shall have to prevail against the chastity and the liberation rite. Reader, your companions are gathered there under the fall. They shall be counting on you. Indeed, as the cycle of the rites turns ever faster, so too is our plan set in motion. My agents in the Commonwealth are beginning to cause a bit of a stir out there, and word has reached high places that the rites are ending. This is our chance. Though, let us not despair should victory elude us here. We shall make the most of whatever the scribes have in store for us. That is to say, good luck, my boy. It is time. What's that? Adversary should recover 5 each time they dash your Pyre. It's not that bad, but again, like, I feel like at this point it's unnecessary to take the risk.
Once more, the Nightwings gain the summit of the sacred Mount Aladiel to conduct the Liberation Rite. Even as the stars themselves abandon you. Make good upon these final opportunities, reader.
Will do,
This
Archbishop.
glorious age-old tradition coming to an end upon your watch. I trust that chastity, your adversaries, shall not throw away this chance. Choose now who may go free, should they unfortunately fail.
Alright, we get it. The pyres burn and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur, the pyres burn and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the chastity, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Manly flourishes onto the grounds and grasps his mask in his spindly fingers. Warmest salutations to you all upon this blessed eve. I am H. Manly Tinderstaff, and I must say that I am very, very moved to be a part of these proceedings. It shall be my humblest of privileges to return quite soon, I hope, unto the Commonwealth, where I shall dedicate myself in full towards the betterment of that society. I long to be a part of this glorious tradition, even when my freedom is rightfully restored, for it is not the case that exiles such as we are called upon to leave. How you govern in your commonwealth is not our business here. Your intentions shall mean nothing if you do not prevail in this right, Manly Tinderstaff. Oh, but I meant no offense at all. I shall serve very well these rights, I promise. Why, I should think I shall be sending many exiles here into the downside to replace me. I can think of quite a few who I think would benefit from experiencing this wonderful tradition for themselves. Then Manly covers his face once again. Now, as for you, Nightwings, make no attempt to undermine me here, and nothing shall befall you or your loved ones in the Commonwealth. Is it a deal? Nightwings, your decision. On whose behalf shall you conduct the liberation rites? Reader, I would ask you to choose wisely, but I am sure you know no other way. And you, prepare your song, Tariq. Of course, Celeste.
Whom do you intend to liberate?
It's really hard, dude. It's really hard. Scott. You've got it. Please take that off. It's really fucking hard, dude. What's this one again? Yeah, dude, that's right, that's right. Yeah, that's good for Tizo. So we'll give... No, you keep that, actually. I don't know why I put it in you, isn't it? Oh, fuck, dude. Tizo, it's all you, man.
Tizo.
Tizo seems stunned by your decision, though he is very grateful to you for it all the same.
Who shall be at his side?
Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
Such an honor it is for this knight to strive on behalf of the good Tizo. And... it is going to be Pamitha, actually. What was your special one? Pamitha may instantly return in deals. Nah. Sure, let's get him out of here then.
It is done.
Now it begins. Do me this favor, if you please, and stand aside like a good sport there. I promise to reward you handsomely once I am free.
Commence.
Good start. No, oh, thank God. Okay, alright. It's okay. Patience. Dude, if he starts casting, I'm going in. Okay, we're going in. That was a very greedy attempt. It's alright, Gilman's fast. Just like that. 18. Oh ho, what's this now? It seems to me the scribes so enjoy our company, the entertainment we provide, that they have deigned to reignite our pyres. Observe. Something stirs in the sky. If the heavens are to rain and reignite your pyres, then the bright shall continue, ere one pyre or the other is put out. Cool. Okay. It's okay. Fuck, I didn't realize the roll would be that big. Alright, easy. Okay, great. Easy peasy. 28. Nice. No. Alright, well that worked out, I guess. Where's Tizo's aura?
Get out, Tizo.
Oh, God. Okay, alright, easy peasy. Big try. Start casting. Oh, fuck. Fucking sapling gun. Ah, oh, Jesus, what a flip! It's okay. I just walk right past him now, no problem.
Now end the ceremony. The orb.
Goddamn. Oh, that's fair.
Nearly
That's
negligible effort.
fair. Was only 11. That's pretty weak.
Yeah.
Come on. We gotta get Tizo out of here. Easy
And
peasy.
there it is, at last. The Nightwings proved their worth.
I'll be honest with you, freeing Tizo is probably not a very good decision, like, meta-wise, but Tizo's my favorite.
Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Why, this is an utter outrage! Have you any idea what you've done, you ingrates?
Tizo is stunned by what transpired and by what he thinks is about to happen. He looks around at the reality of what transpired sinks in. He realizes now that this is goodbye, at least for the time. He struggles to express the gratitude he feels for having served the Nightwings these many years. He also does not know what to expect from the Commonwealth and whether he will be accepted. Nevertheless, he vows that he will keep doing his part to the benefit of Valfred's plan. And with that, he splashes into the Shimmer Pool and is gone from view. You hear him chirping one last time. Tizo wishes for the best for each of you and asks that you remember him. May he return in glory.
Godspeed, Tizo. The 8 scribes are watching from afar. By their grace, may the cycle of the rites keep turning for as long as possible.
Serpent Gremlin cannot raise in rank.
The 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours.
You return to the wagon, having prevailed against the chastity and the liberation rite. Such the glorious night this turned out to be. At least someone got out of here. You succeeded in liberating Tizo, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. We have but a few liberation rites remaining. Exactly how many I do not wish to speculate about as yet, until such time as we can better say for certain. Under no circumstances would I suggest this is ideal. However, it is opportunity enough that our plan may, as yet, succeed. Although, of all these setbacks, I fear Valfred trails off and falls silent. Some of the others exchange looks. They are beginning to understand. With the rites soon ending, everything which Valfred has sought, both on his own for many years and now with all of you, all of it may have been in vain. The hush spreads to the others. But not to you. You then proceed to do something that none of them seem to expect. You raise your voice. Each of your fellow exiles turns to you, their expressions asking you a question with no easy answer. What are we going to do? As you meet Faye's gaze, the words for the occasion begin to crystallize in your mind. You are searching to find the right words, as are all of your fellow exiles looking at you now. Interact to gather your thoughts. You tell them that you have all stood together time after time throughout this quest, and are now poised to seize upon a glorious opportunity. You tell them that you are not going to mince words with anyone here. You tell them that you have all struggled to come this far across the downside through many challenges which you have faced. You tell them that you have all stood together time after time throughout this quest and are now poised. And think only a hollow fool would turn back now, and are poised to seize upon a glorious opportunity. I see, so we get to change that part and then change the second part. Because by now each of you knows each other very well, as that would be a grave disservice to the group. Struggle to become far across the downside, though many challenges you faced, only to reach this low point in your journey. Now poised. You tell them that you are not going to mince words with anyone here, as that would be a grave disservice to the group. None of you pursue this quest with any guarantees. It is a quest that we all knew was unlikely to end well. One cannot assume that it would have a happy outcome. It is clear now that not all of you are going to return. Surely this has weighed heavily on everyone. Each of you knew this outcome was a possibility. Your path to freedom still is laid bare before you all. True freedom is not waiting for you in the Commonwealth. The path is difficult enough without the added burden of despair. Your path to freedom is still laid bare before you. The path is difficult enough without the added burden of despair. Meanwhile, the stars themselves are shining on for you. All of what has transpired cannot be mere chance. Oh god, this has got 3 parts. You all now have a divine duty to uphold. Glory awaits if you can persevere together. They would spur you on to greater feats. The Commonwealth is already in upheaval. There you have unfinished business to conduct. You have to resist the forces that would crush you. The injustices committed on the other side cannot continue. Its troubles are only the beginning. But something far more vital is at stake. You see the imminent conclusion of the rites as a sign. It is a sign that the world is changing. The scribes are watching. The disappearances of the stars can be no accident. Meanwhile, the stars themselves are shining on for you. They would spur you on to greater feats. Glory awaits if you can persevere together. You all stand poised to ensure the world you leave behind for your loved ones, for each other, for your own sake, is world worth living in, is worthy of homecoming. Now is the time to stand and fight the forces that oppose you, for your people, for each other, for your own sake. For those who live oppressed, for those who do not fight, do not prevail. You now have this opportunity to live with purpose, for your people, for each other, for your own sake. For all those that shall live on, for yours is a righteous cause. You all stand poised to ensure the world you leave behind for your loved ones, for each other, is a world worth living in. If you can believe any of this, then believe above all in each other. Then trust with what your heart is telling you. Believe that the plan may yet be achieved. Trust that you may yet prevail together. If you cannot see the merit in this quest, then you are unfit to stand amongst the Nightwings. Oh, okay, we're not going with this one. that one went through. Hold on. Load checkpoint. We're not going... So that decided to lock in on the absolute worst one, which I just wanted to change. Okay. When you look at it that way, which side of the world you end up on is all... Which side of the world you end up on is all... You end up on is up to all of you. Whether you achieve your freedom is up to all of you. To each one of you in your own way. You need but see your journey to its end. If you can believe any of this, then trust what your heart is telling you. Trust that you may yet prevail together. After a brief period of reflection, you share one last sentiment with the group. Let us stand together now and always. Mere distance cannot separate our spirits. The stars have not vanished, they have joined us. Let us bring about the harmony envisioned by the 8 scribes. The people of the Commonwealth need us as we need one another. The stars have not vanished, they have joined us. Then you join the others in silence. Thus do you remain together with your thoughts. No one speaks for a time, but then... You see them too then, mister, the scribes among the stars, how they are watching over us.
Thou wouldst dare to change the ancient world, reading one, and yet thy words tinged with certain truths.
May long the stars remain a light for you, reader, sir. All the while, Volfred remains watching you intently. Then his expression softens, and he smiles. You are right, of course, my boy. We are the Nightwings. It is precisely as you said. The stars have not vanished. They have joined us. Lead us then, reader, to the end of our quest, and the dawn of a new age for all our kin. For everyone, for the Nightwings. Everyone responds in kind. They stand with you no matter what. They await the outcome of your vision of the stars, which burn with renewed fury, because for now, the last rites beckon. Sick. The stars above now burn with what appears a desperate fury. May many more of them than usual. Look upon them all. So we're just going right back into it again? Fuck, this has to be the last set then, doesn't it? Fuck. The stars of the 8 scribes, they shine together now as one. The lone minstrel draws breath as though surprised by what he sees. He backs away and averts his eyes. This is another sign the rites are soon to cease. Few chances yet remain to confront the adversaries you have met during your journey. Rites till next liberation. 2. Fuck. Fuck, man. Alright.